All right, warriors, gather around, do your breathing exercise, and come back regulated, clear mind, whatever it is you do as an exercise, so that you're not bringing in yesterday's issues and problems, but what you're doing is you have your mind cleared out so that you have space, so you know how to categorize the hurt or whatever happened yesterday. The shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Let's address the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and not have to deal with, man, next time I'll, and let's get to a point of this is what I'm gonna do. This is how I'm gonna execute, or this is how I'm gonna modify my lifestyle. Make proper changes where they need to be. You see, it's one thing to know what to do, right? Having knowledge, but it's another to apply it. Now, the first steps are catching yourself. And that's great. I congratulate you, because that is the first step. Shoulda, coulda, woulda is your first step to identifying. But get this. Don't be concerned with, I missed out on, so much so as understanding it's going to happen again. Because narcissists build up false confidence when you let them get by with something. So you're going to be given another golden opportunity to spank that ass. You feel me? I just need you to be ready. And this is why. Narcissists set up your moves. They study you and many others, because understand, you're not the first victim. You're not the first target. The intended targets all are patternable, just like you can pattern narcissist playbooks. They know, based on how they're triggering you, what emotions and what actions you will take to defend yourself. Because based on emotions, that is very predictable. When you respond, oh shit, that's when you break the routines. That's when you become unpredictable. That's when you serve up karma. This is what I mean. When narcissists are studying you, for example, and they discard you, and now you're an emotional fucking wreck, you remember, you're in that fucking fetal position, crying those snotty ass tears. Oh yeah, couldn't breathe hardly. When you were doing that, you were making very impulsive, emotional, and decisions made on feelings, going toward people that were actually a part of the network, a part of the problem. And so narcissists knew this, and that it was going to be crazy making, controlled induced schizophrenia, for you to go and lean on for comfort and understanding from people that were going to look at you crazy now. Because a narcissist went behind your back a long time ago, smearing you, telling lies, and setting up the fall. Kind of like in the military. Don't think we're absent from doing the same thing. We study the enemy the way narcissists studied you. When we strategize war, we have what we call Death Valley. Leonidas, King Leonidas. He refined this through Hell's Gate. If you remember the movie Hell's Gate, it was two mountains that came together with a valley. Well, in the military, what we do is we understand that our enemy, even though trained, well, not like us, but trained, right, nonetheless, wearing a uniform anyway, if we can set up concussion blasts, concussion grenades, noisemakers, distractions, we can cause a panic. And when you cause a panic, decisions are made under duress and emotion, survivability, and we can pattern the blast in such a way that we're corralling the enemy toward Hell's Gate. And guess what's at Hell's Gate? The perfect ambush. Claymore. And we can salt and pepper them all at once, corralling the herd and decimating with total destruction. And anyone left is schizophrenic. Warriors, I share this with you because you now have the operating knowledge, which should give you the edge to strategize. You should be the ones carrying that shit-eating grin now. But yours has purpose. Because now, knowing the playbook, guess what you have control over? And narcissists will never. In fact, my next statement will cause them to tremble. You now have the ability to write the rules. You own Death Valley. Warriors, you're not going to fall for the narcissist setups. You're going to see it so far ahead, and they're that predictable. What makes you unique is your unpredictability. Because they're going to try provoking you into Death Valley. They're going to try and provoke you into acting out, to be pushed where they want you to go. Now, by you realizing this, before hello, before the handshake, before the introduction, you will have already discarded them. And you'll be able to do it in such a way that they won't even recognize the fact that they've been discarded. In fact, they will leave with that shit-eating grin, thinking they one-upped you, just like the first time. It's not until later do they realize they've been blocked. They've been rendered irrelevant. And when they go seeking comfort in the flying monkeys, it falls on deaf ears, sending them into a panic rage. But you're nowhere to be found. So, warriors, your approach is now in a winning position. For you to live in fear is futile when you're the one being feared. And look, I just need you to taste it once or twice, and you will never ever need to be convinced. In fact, some of you have already done it. Some of you I've shared with you through coaching calls, and you've applied simple lifestyle changes, and it's made such an awesome change in your life that now you don't need to be reminded of the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. It's an autopilot. It's automatic. Some of you have called me, not because you needed coaching. It was just for a thank you. It's like rubbing elbows, warrior to warrior. We're not trying to convince each other of a truth. We're just validating on how unique the tools of the trade are. Warriors, also, let me remind you of the Hoover, the sneak attack. You see, narcissists are going to come back talking about change. I've changed. They may even triangulate you with others. They've witnessed them going to therapy or going to church, or who knows, turn the TV on and all they got's gospel on, and they're buying DVDs of, I don't know, some of these mega church mentors and motivators, right? To make it look like change. All I say is wish them well for the next connection. Because what you observe and witness, you're no longer going to doubt. And let me tell you why. They will proclaim change, but it's not because they felt like you were the best thing since sliced bread, or because all of a sudden they know what love is. Lightning from the sky struck them right in the ass crack, and they all of a sudden opened their eyes. No, it's because they ran out of options. You see, the community doesn't give two shits about you. Once you lose pretty privilege or status, the community puts you in your place. Narcissists figure this out later in their life. And the only thing that has changed is the manipulation. They have to now show a softer underbelly. And they need to convince you of it, because they've been trying, believe me, before they ever want to come back to anybody that's considered a leftover in the harem closet, that's actually showed them their ass. That's the last thing they want to do, is come face to face with rejection. So they need to put on their best screenplay. But what they're leaving out is the change was forced upon them. by the community. It wasn't enlightenment. It wasn't a spiritual butt kick by the divine. It's community rejection and desperation that's speaking to you. And it's going to sound real convincing, but understand, deep down inside, as soon as they get their feet planted, they're going to go back to the ratchet asses that they are, because they get cocky and overconfident. Now, they'll also tell you, I left the old me behind. How about this one? I haven't met anyone that brings out the feminine in me like you, or the masculine. That's horseshit. Let me tell you why. You either are feminine or you are masculine. What anyone telling you, if the right person crosses my path, I won't be such a bitch, or I won't be acting like a man. What they're saying is, I'll put on the right mask for the right resources. That's a narcissist. Plain and simple. If a man tells you, I'll give up being feminine for the right woman, and I will portray my masculine. I will become the provider, protector. I'll provide you shelter and resources. You see, when you use their own logic against them, shit don't make sense, does it? So warriors, this is why I need you to operate in such a way where you observe and don't absorb. Watch people in their own element when they think no one's looking, because this is exactly who they are. Chameleons. Wordplay in the shape-shifting holds them harmless, because in the narcissist's eyes and in the criminal, I told you the truth. That's on you. So warriors, be careful what you hear about from somebody, because you might be hearing it from the very problem itself, the creator of the problems. I'm not just speaking life into the truth you already know. I'm choosing to get you to stop ignoring the truth you already know. And I know this because when time passes, after the butt hurt, you realize the red flags you ignored. What I'm trying to get you to do is recognize it before hello, before the butt hurt. Don't allow pretty privilege to get in the way, whether it be a man or a woman, because understand what that does. When pretty privilege gets in the way, or you're thinking with the nether regions, you know what I'm talking about? The vertical lambada. When you're thinking with that, whether you're a man or a woman, you have no rules. The rules don't apply because you want to get you some yum-yum. It's not after the yum-yum, when you have your post-nut clarity, that you realize, dang it, man. Shouldn't have done that one. Now, how in the hell am I going to get out of this? Some of y'all heard that joke about chewing your arm to get away. Don't get in that position again. Don't allow pretty privilege to blindside you. In fact, I say this, it's a fatal attraction. And it can ruin your life. You see, when narcissists come in connections with you, they got nothing to lose. In fact, when they come back for the Hoover, you'd think they left fucked up. They come back a total wreck with nothing to offer and everything to gain from you. Needing to be bailed out from their own ratchet-ass decisions. Now, warriors, get this. I say this, let them come back kissing your ass. Do like I do, or like I wish I could do, because they know better to come at me. But look, let's just hypothetically say they came back to kiss my ass. I'll fucking fart on them and give them the shit freckles. Let them explain that away. Pepper them right's what I say. Shock and awe. Don't hold back. Look, you're like a stick of dynamite. Claymore in Death Valley. Some of you only need to do it once. It's going to feel strange, of course. In fact, in coaching circles, they call it, well, supernova for whatever reason. I guess because it adds rainbows and shit, butterflies to it or whatever. I call it going ghetto, quite frankly. Going ghetto. I mean, you just, all kind of creative wordages come out. Them Chico-isms, sure enough. And I can paint a picture, let me tell you. But they're appropriately, for the moment, directed to exactly whom needs to hear it. And after that, you shut it down and leave with a smile. Because narcissists soon realize it was child's play to come mess with you. Playing Uno with a checker player or goldfish. Do you have a 2? Goldfish. And you're going, checkmate. Smell you later. Speaking of smells, I don't know if it's off subject, but I've never shared this with y'all, but have y'all ever noticed that narcissists have a weird BO to them? I'm not talking the standard pH balance off, that funky smell, the feeling frothy after a good dance. I'm talking BO like in their natural state. Or is it just me? I wonder, it just seems to be a common, I'm still connecting dots, you know what I'm saying? I'm digging deep. But I almost found it like, in a weird way, they can't smell themselves, but they all carry a certain funk. Call me crazy. Well, anyway, just thought I'd share that shit with you, and if anything, we'll get a ha-ha-ha moment. Thanks for riding the ride with me today. Thanks for walking down the beach line with me today. I appreciate it. Thanks for reaching out for those of you, for those coaching calls. And I want to remind you also, those of you that reach out for the coaching calls, understand that email that comes out, wherever it comes out, shit, somewhere here, there's an email that pops up. When you correspond with that email, it's for setting up coaching calls only, not for a one-way, two-way conversation. In fact, I don't even see them. So if you would like to reach out and communicate with me, understand that email is directly for setting up coaching calls and nothing else. I appreciate your understanding. And for those of you wondering if you ever find me anywhere else on any other platform, that's not me. You will only find me here on YouTube or LinkedIn. I promise. This channel's being grown organically from the ground up. I have it set up on purpose this way. It's for the warriors that need it, look for it, and are ready. I'm not setting it up so that it can be bombarded onto every viewer available in the world. Because if you need it bad enough, you'll look for it. And when you find it, you will go from hearing to listening. Because you already done the hard part. You pulled your head out of your own ass. And you had enough. And you're done trying to figure out what the hell narcissists are up to. Can I get a what? It's never goodbye, warriors. Always until next time. And look, get out there and own it. They're going to learn. They're going to learn who not to fuck with. Namaste.